What if the AI we're all starting to use is less like a simple tool and more like a genie in a lamp? Something capable of granting these incredible wishes, but with a seriously dangerous twist. So today, we're going to dig into this exact idea, based on a really fascinating report from Bob Slovic over at Virtualization Options LLC.
And that warning, it's really the heart of this whole conversation. I mean, it's not just some line from a fairy tale, it's critical advice for pretty much anyone using AI today. The power we're starting to unlock is absolutely immense, and as you're about to see, it comes with some profound responsibility.
So what does this genie metaphor really mean in practice? Well, it means AI can spit out text, images, and code that feel, frankly, almost magical. But just like those genies in the old stories, it might grant your wish in a way that creates a dozen brand new problems you never saw coming. We have to get our heads around this. This isn't just software following commands. It's a system that learns, it evolves, and it can definitely surprise us.
This right here really gets to the core of it. It's a total double-edged sword. On one side, you've got these unbelievable creative capabilities that are just accelerating innovation like crazy. But on the flip side, each one has a dark reflection, right? Hyper-realistic content can become deepfake manipulation. Complex problem-solving can accidentally amplify biases we didn't even know were there. It's the exact same power, just pointed in a very different and sometimes much more dangerous direction.
All right, so this brings us to the genie's dark side. And look, these aren't just theoretical problems for some far-off future. These are real-world risks that organizations are dealing with right now. Let's take a look at what actually happens when the wishes go wrong.
The first big risk is basically the weaponization of trust itself. I mean, think about it. When AI can create a convincing fake of anyone's voice or face, our basic ability to tell what's real from what's fake just starts to crumble. And that opens the door to some incredibly sophisticated fraud that preys on our most basic instincts.
Get this, in 2023, criminals used deepfake audio to impersonate a CEO. They tricked employees into transferring $35 million. Let that sink in. The audio was so convincing that even experienced staff, people who knew the executive personally, were completely fooled. That's the power and the peril, all wrapped up in one single, staggering number.
Okay, next up is a much more subtle, but honestly an equally dangerous risk: data leakage. Now, I'm not talking about a traditional hack here. This is way sneakier. This is where attackers trick an AI into revealing sensitive info by hiding malicious commands inside a perfectly normal-looking request. It's a technique they call prompt injection.
And this quote just nails the problem. The AI literally can't tell the difference between what a normal user is asking for and what an attacker has hidden inside that request. And this isn't just a theory. In 2024, researchers used this exact method to make Slack's AI leak data from private channels. So yeah, it's real.
All of this builds to an even bigger, messier problem, what's called shadow AI. This is basically what happens when the genie gets out of the lamp and just starts running wild all across an organization, completely outside of IT's control.
And the scale of this is, well, it's kind of staggering. These numbers show this is not a fringe issue. It's happening in half of all companies. Employees are using on average 12 unauthorized AI apps, and every single one of those is a potential gateway for a data breach. It's like leaving a dozen backdoors wide open.
And of course, criminals are weaponizing this technology directly. They're creating attacks that are smarter, they're more personal, and they can adapt in real time. For instance, in 2023, an AI-powered ransomware attack on Yum Brands was so sophisticated that it shut down 300 of their restaurants. That just shows you how devastating these new weapons can be.
So what happens when one of these risks actually becomes a reality? The fallout isn't just a technical glitch. We're talking about severe legal, reputational, and financial consequences. This is the true cost of making a careless wish.
When an AI system goes off the rails, it is not a quick fix. The data shows it takes 73% longer to recover from an AI incident than a typical IT one, and it costs 68% more to clean up the mess. And you might ask why? Well, because these systems are insanely complex, they're all interconnected, and often they're a total black box, even to the people who built them.
And the financial damage can be immediate and just catastrophic. Take this case. One firm's lending AI was found to be making discriminatory decisions. Its stock price plummeted 23% in just 2 days. All that trust, built up over decades, was just vaporized in an instant because the genie granted a wish with a biased and illegal twist.
Okay,
After all that doom and gloom, how do we actually guard the lamp, right? How do we get the power of the genie without all the disastrous consequences? Well, the report lays out a pretty clear framework for protection.
It all really boils down to these 3 pillars. You can't just focus on the tech. You need the rules of the road with governance. You need stronger locks on the tech itself with hardening, and you absolutely need a shared sense of responsibility, and that comes from culture. Let's just quickly touch on the first 2.
Strong governance is basically about putting the guardrails in place before you start making wishes. This means figuring out who's in charge and using established guides like the AI Risk Management Framework from the U.S. National Institute of Standards and Technology to think through what could go wrong. Hardening the tech? Well, that's about making the genie more robust and a lot less gullible. This involves using some really advanced techniques to train the AI to resist attacks and to protect the sensitive data it learns from. It's all about building security in from the very start. At the end of the day, though, this isn't just about avoiding disaster. It's about truly mastering the genie. And that takes both constant vigilance against all the risks and a really bold vision for what responsible AI can actually help us achieve. And this brings us to what might be the most important takeaway of all. The goal here should be to augment human capabilities, not to replace them. The safest and, honestly, the most powerful use of AI as a partner, a tool to make us smarter, more creative, more efficient, but leaving the final judgment call to us. The report makes it crystal clear that the window to get this right is narrow, and it's closing fast. The choices we make right now will define whether organizations can actually thrive with this technology, and whether our long-term future is one where the genie serves us and not the other way around.
So, the path forward means weaving all these different threads together. You need clear rules, you need strong security, you need a culture of ethical practice, and all of it has to be reinforced by collaboration across the entire industry, because no single organization can tame this genie alone.
This quote really just says it all, doesn't it? We are the ones in control here. We have the choice to be deliberate, to be thoughtful, and to accept the profound responsibility that comes with this absolutely immense power. So, I'll leave you with this question. The genie is out of the lamp, whether we like it or not. The real question is, are you prepared to make a wish? And maybe more importantly, are you ready for the consequences?